Next section, personal property, specific gift designations, lifetime interest designations, and we'll cover legal guardianship on this page as well. So again, take advantage of these menu explanation or tip suggestion menus, you can call them, that give you a quick explanation of these options here on this page, including a video tip explanation that this link and this link are the same exact video, explain the concepts behind this. I will insert a page tutorial link here that is exactly what you're watching now. That'll take you to that page tutorial on how to apply those concepts to filling out this page. So when it comes to personal property, generally speaking, most of my clients decide to leave everything to their kids, usually in equal shares. Sometimes there's specific gift designations of personal property. Um, they usually will use a combination of both general clause distribution, like all my personal property distributed to my kids equally, equal 3 shares, or 4 kids equally, um, or or usually with a combination of using a specific designation for a specific child or a specific person. For example, in general, if my clients want to leave all their personal property and their real estate to the kids in equal shares, generally speaking, yeah, we would use this option here. Same way as residual. You can say, the clients can say that they can say that they want the trustee to make that decision on whatever unspecified personal property is left to be distributed according to the trustee's discretion, or the children in equal shares. But if the residual, the real estate, is going to be distributed the same way as whatever personal property is left over, non-specifically designated personal property, then same way as residual is usually the option to choose here. Here, they can select this option to designate a specific piece of personal property that they want to take out of the general pool of property that will be distributed to their 3 kids in equal shares. For example, I want my personal property to go to my 3 kids equally except for my gold watch. That I want to go to this particular individual. And that's where you would fill this information here for that option there. Okay. You also have this option here to make a gift of a specific money amount of money to an individual organization. You would go ahead and select whether it's a gift to an organization. If it's an individual, you click no and fill out the information there: individual, amount of gift, the gender, relationship, and how you want that gift to be distributed if the beneficiary is deceased here, as well as whether or not there's minors involved for the UTMA option or CUTMA option. And then if it's a charity, then it's the name of the name and address of the organization and the amount of the gift. Okay. Now, lifetime interest. So this is a really powerful tool for clients to confirm that a specific individual will have the legal right to live in a specific piece of personal property that, in a specific piece of real estate, like their primary home or a second home, for the rest of their lives without being able to be evicted. Okay, so that individual will have the legal right to live there for the rest of their lives until they decide they no longer want to live there or they pass away. And that's what a lifetime interest is. And that concept will be explained in these videos here as well if you want a cleaner explanation. But you would name that individual, the relationship, gender, and whether or not that property is the principal residence of the client, and whether or not they want the beneficiary, that particular lifetime beneficiary, to pay all expenses. And then when that beneficiary, that lifetime beneficiary, passes away, how is distribution then of that property? What happens to that property after that lifetime beneficiary passes away? Well, distribute to the beneficiary's children or as part of the residue of the trust estate. And you have different options here. um, so that's that explanation there. If a client wants to distribute a specific piece of real estate, let's say they have 4 properties and they want all the properties except for one to be distributed equally to all their 3 kids. Those properties are going to go under the residual, but that one property is going to go only to one child or to 2 of the children or to a grandchild. That's where they would use this option here, designate whether or not it's principal residence, and they would add the beneficiary, relationship, name, what percentage of that property they're going to distribute to that beneficiary. They can select 100%, and then the percentages change down here. Percentage assigned to beneficiary, 100%, so there's nothing left available to designate to other beneficiaries. But if they choose, say 60% for that one beneficiary, then they'd have another 40% available to distribute to a second beneficiary. Okay. And now they want that 40% remaining going to that second beneficiary. And it's all divvied up. 100% has been assigned. So you can go to the next property here. Well, you answer these questions first, of course. What happens to each beneficiary share if that beneficiary passes away before the client? And so they can go ahead and designate what happens there. All right. We also have specific business interests. Okay, what the name of that business would be and who that business is going to. Beneficiary information there. Again, you can assign percentages of the business to go to multiple beneficiaries, and the percentages will update here as you select and use up to 100% of that business for multiple beneficiaries or just for one. Again, what happens if that beneficiary dies before the client? Answer these questions there. All right, and this is where the personal items will be, which I think I already discussed, will be designated for a specific individual, like a car, some tools, collectibles, jewelry. Okay, you name the beneficiary of that asset, relationship, gender, beneficiary, and what that personal property asset is. And again, what happens if that beneficiary dies before the client does. So that's how you would use these sections. And legal guardianship options. This option popped up only because in the family section, when clients were selecting that they did have children of the marriage, and they also indicated there with a checkbox that there were minor children, this pops up because of that. If they selected that they had no minor children, all the children were adults, for example, this section here, this legal guardianship section, would not pop up. Okay, just letting you know. It would not pop up. It would not be here in this page here. So the options for legal guardianship, if here are the husband's options and here are the wife's options. Okay, so this is generally after the husband's options and the wife's options work such that the husband can name his particular legal guardian after the wife were to pass away. Okay, so assuming that the husband passes away and the wife's still alive, then the wife is a legal guardian, obviously. But if the wife, let's say they both passed away at the same time in an accident, then that's when this guardian would take effect. Same thing for the wife. So whoever she chooses here, that's assuming that the husband has already passed away as well. If the husband's still alive, that the husband will be the primary guardian, and then this person here would take over as legal guardian or be designated as legal guardian. Okay, so that's how all that would work. And that's it for that section.